You're watching Thrifty Kaniffy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. This is going to be another random ramblings episode today. Going to go over some things I'm thinking about. A few little updates here and there if you've been following the channel. So, you know that I bought these medium slip, or not medium slips, it's just slips from Rough Ryder. This was the small, this is the medium, the large. And I've been giving it applications of this glove oil that I have. It's a super old bottle of Wilson glove oil, like literally for baseball gloves. I've had this oil probably 25 years. I mean, this thing is old, but the oil still works. Anyway, I'm about out of that, and I was like, well, I probably ought to get something that might work a little better, because that oil wasn't really penetrating these two smaller ones very well, which are kind of been resistive. I don't know if it's just a grain is really tight or what. So I just looked up whatever I could find on Amazon for cheap, and I think this was like $4 for an 8-ounce bottle. And this stuff is really good. I'm really happy with it. It's got a real pleasant scent to it, and it both protects and conditions. And it's been making these a lot more subtle with the last two applications. This one's just about perfect. And if you remember, I've been using this large Stockman to form it. And it fits like a glove now. No pun intended. And so I'm really happy with that. This large one's pretty well done. These two maybe need a couple more. They're a little stiff yet. But they're getting there. A couple more applications, I think we're going to be there. I've been using, I don't know, Sowbellys, different Sowbellys with this one. So if you're interested in what a Sowbelly fit, the medium one is pretty much ideal size for the slip, for this medium size Rough Ryder slip. And then this one, just been using this little Minuteman old timer 104 OT. And that might actually be a little loose now that it's fit. So, I don't know. Maybe a little bigger knife would be more ideal, but it'll work. It works. It's not falling out or anything. He's going to have to be shaken out of there. But there you have that. I just wanted to kind of give you an update on how that's progressing over time. Another thing is, so I've talked about this large Stockman. This is the Frost, and how much I really like that, and how much I hated the Sowbelly Frost. I don't have that right here in front of me, but so I just kind of compared those two, and I talked about I wanted to get some more in this series, and I was able to find this cracked ice version of the same Frost. It's actually a whitetail cutlery by Frost. This is the WT066CI, which stands for cracked ice. So the model number is like WT-00 or -066, and then it gives the identifier here with CI, and I think the other one was BI for black ice or something like that. So anyway, when I bought this, the seller, he was kind of slow to ship it, or she, I'm not even sure. So they felt bad, and they said, well, we'll send you something extra, and I had no idea what that was going to be. Turns out it was an additional one of these same knives. So I thought as a giveaway that would be maybe an idea coming up sometime when we reach some sort of a channel objective, maybe a certain number of subscribers or whatever. But if you guys don't like the idea of this knife being a giveaway, please let me know. I don't want to give away something that no one's going to like. I know people turn their nose up at Frost, but this is this is an exceptional Frost. This isn't your normal garbagey Frost. Nice rifle and everything. And I've already polished the other knife. It's oiled. I don't even want to bring it out of the box. I mean, it's right here. I have it, but it's just still in the box. And I've already oiled it and got it up to snuff, polished it. It's all ready to go. It just needs a new home. But again, I don't want to do a giveaway of a knife that no one wants. So let me know what you think of that. Why don't you guys give me like no frost or yes frost in the comments, and then I'll know what it is that most people think of it. All right, so another thing I wanted to talk about was the Rite Edge knives. Now, I've kind of accumulated Gee, let's see here. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different Rite Edge knives to kind of get a really good idea of what this company has to offer. And so many people told me early on when I was getting into knives, I would hear time and time again that, the Rough Riders are good because, they give you the opportunity to try out different patterns and things and find out what you like before you have to sink a lot of money into them. Well, I think for that very same reason that Rite Edge even makes more sense in that regard, because you're spending even less money for these knives. And again, they have a pretty wide variety of patterns to find out what it is that you might like. So first, let me start off with one I've already sort of talked about. This is the, boy, the model numbers really were small in there, 210-217-3. Now, I've gone back and forth talking about this knife. It's like on the top 20 list, and a lot of these Rite Edge knives are on that list, but this one was one of my favorites. I've turned that into a carry now. You also have seen this in the unboxing, because I got a second one of these. This is the second one, the other one's still in the box, but it's just a nice folding knife, lockback folding knife. And it's just become one of my favorites in terms of carry. Just super simple knife. Let's get it close first so we can measure that. But it's like 3, let's just call it 3 3/8, maybe 3 1/2. It's right in between there, I think. And got this wood handle with the lanyard hole. Just a lockback, real smooth mechanism. Locks, clicks in there really well. And it's just like the perfect blade for me for like a carry around the office and even around the house. And I couldn't be happier with it. A little drop point blade. Just does everything you need it to do, and it's just super cheap, like $6.99. I think it was on that list, on the top 20 list. So there's that one. So, little lockback. And then you've got, I don't even remember what this is, but let's just go ahead and look at the model number first. It's 210575-BX. Now, I know I've looked at this before. I don't remember exactly what it is by the model number. Oh, yeah. So it's just this little Sowbelly that I've already reviewed. Does it suck video. Remember that one? And I turned out it didn't suck. Not the greatest knife in the world. It's got the triple springs, no blade rub, but then again, it's not the most traditional thing. But just to figure out whether or not you like the Stockman and the blades that are on that. I mean, that's an ideal. I mean, this one has a little coping blade even. It's not the traditional blade that you get. It's usually a sheep's foot, which I guess could be argued that it's a sheep foot with just more of a straight edge at the end there. But anyway, so you got this little spay blade, you got the little coping blade, and then you got the little clip blade. And this is on a 3-inch frame, 3-inch length handle here. So again, you'll find out whether you like, these smaller Sowbellys that maybe you don't want to carry a 3 3/4-inch standard size one. So this is basically just to find out what knife is for you. You kind of just don't have to invest a lot of money to figure it out, and you get to carry it and find out if you like the blade types and what they can do for you and what they'll do for you. All right, here's another one. Like I said, I got quite a few of these to go through. So this is 210. Man, I'm having a tough time reading today. 210646. Yeah, I guess if I were read that side, I'd have been able to read it. Okay, so this one, we took a look at it, I believe. Yeah, we did. This was on that top 20 list. And this is the one with all the file work and all that. But forget all that. We just want to know what a toothpick is like, right? And this gives you a nice idea of whether you want to use a toothpick for an everyday carry type thing. And, for me, it's not my ideal carry because I don't trust the blade to stay. You get it's long blades. It's just not a carry for me. It doesn't instill a lot of confidence with that type of blade and just a regular folding knife. Now that French tickler that I had from Rough Ryder, that's a different story because now you've got a locking blade. But I do like these for just presentation. I think this, the handle type with this horn is just a really appealing to me knife to look at. So for that reason, I like it. Now, whether you wanted to carry it or not carry it, that's what you got to figure out. But you've got the option of buying this at a very inexpensive price and making that kind of decision. Okay, so I'll just keep moving on here. I don't even remember what order these are in. But this is 210601. Okay, so this is the Barlow 210601. Barlow. Again, really cheap. This was like $5.99 to my door. Right? Now I know this isn't going to be something the UK guys can take advantage of, but even still, if you can find these knives, through your supplier, they're going to be less expensive than a lot of the knives that you're probably going to have to compare to, right? So while you might not be able to get the Amazon, free shipping one day type thing, whatever, they're still probably accessible through one of the suppliers there. But the Barlow, yeah, it's just two blades. You got your little pen blade there, and then this clip blade. And it's not the most attractive clip blade in the world, but you kind of get the idea of what it can do for you. And you get an idea for the shape of the handle and how it carries. So, $6, you got a lanyard hole. Most Barlows don't have lanyard hole, so it's a little additional feature you get along top of it. But yeah, classic shape. Will let you know whether you like a Barlow or not. Let's keep moving on now. Here's another. This was one of my favorites. I would say that the folding knife is probably my overall favorite. But this gives you a really good example of a 4-inch Stockman. All right, now these should be legal carry UK because I don't think there's a blade in here. While the knife handle is 4 inches, the blade handle's still under 3 inches. Or excuse me, the blade. The blade is still under 3 inches. So this is legal carry UK. And this particular knife has a really nice handle. Now I only just polished this one side to kind of give you an example of what it can look like. But it's almost like a tortoise shell. Now the box itself, pretty sure it calls it something a little different. Right? Black pearl handle. Alright, we'll call it whatever you want. But to me it looks very similar to tortoise shell. Like a dark brown with a goldish yellow beneath it. But as you get it, it's going to be more flat. See how that's just sort of a flat. And then when you polish it, you turn it into a knife that presents a lot better. The bolsters are really more satin, but once you get done polishing them, they're almost mirror finish. There's the back again. See how that's just kind of a satin finish. I polished this just a little bit. Maybe I spent 5 minutes on it most. Not long. So this still can go a lot further. But again, find out whether you like the Stockman. Do you like the square bolsters or do you like the round bolsters? Here's an example of a square bolstered one. So, really cheap. Probably, around $10 mark, $11 mark, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think it was 10 something, $10.89, something like that. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember exact prices. But all these are going to be under $15. Not a single one on this table, not over $15. All right, so the next knife is probably my second favorite. Maybe not. I don't know. It's in the top 3. But this is model number 210580. And they're calling this one actually has a name, unlike the others. They call this the Rite Miner. Okay, so it's got some history with coal mining, I suppose. Not exactly sure the history of that, but this is basically a Sodbuster with really thick handles. And you can see the wood is like a layered wood. So some sort of layered material, layered wood material. And then it's polished and sanded and then given a nice stain. And turns out really well. I put a little bit of oil on here. Let me just go ahead and show that, because I'll probably be talking quite a bit about oil anytime we got like a wood handle. This is what I use, is Howard Feed and Wax. This stuff is legendary for some furniture restoration. Just sort of quick little turnaround, make your dried out wood look a lot better. Well, it works on these wood handles really well too. And the action on this is just like dreamlike. I mean, it's just wow, snappy snap. I mean, that's if that's not an indicator that your knife is engaged, I don't know what is. I mean, that's a really nice snap to that. And I could probably take that further, to be honest. I could probably put oil in the spring. This is straight out of the box. I haven't done anything with it. So I could probably make that even better. But okay, so there you go. Now that's a full 4-inch handle on it, and I think the blade's going to exceed the 3-inch mark just ever so slightly. I don't know how picky the UK is, but I'm betting that blade is 3 1/4 inches, just barely over. But the cutting edge itself is actually under 3 inches. So depending on how they measure over there, this may or may not be legal. I don't know. If you've got cops like we do around here, it's 3 1/4. UK, it might be 3. Let me just leave it at that. All right, next we've got this number 210826-4. 210826-4. Another Rite Edge. Now this gives you another option for a lockback. This is the 4-inch folding knife. They're calling it 4-inch because of the handle length, not because of the blade length. Okay, let's move this out of the way. We're running out of room here. Keep all those in view so you guys can review that. But yeah, this is 4-inch handle. And maybe just over that, actually 4 1/4 inch handle. But another lockback, and it engages really well. This is basically like a 110 in a smaller size, the 4-inch size rather than a 5-inch size. You get a lanyard hole, just a buck rip-off basically, in a smaller size. Total length with the blade open is just over, right about 7 1/4 inches. And you get a cutting edge of about 2 3/4 inches. So, yeah, another option for like basically a smaller version of the Buck 110. Okay, so that's a little folding knife there. All right, so up next I have a knife that's exactly the situation that I ran into for myself to find out whether I liked a particular style or not. This 210600. I had never owned a Hawkbill before, so this to me was the experiment with the Rite Edge to find out whether I liked this pattern or not. And I always thought it was a little unusual to have this large blade hanging out of the top of the handle. I always thought if I tried to put that in my pocket, I'd always be grinding into my thigh and not too comfortable. But I suppose that's why they have a bail on it. It's an external clip on it that you can use to, keep that out of your pocket. But cool thing about it is, it's a pinch, and it's got the lock on it. So you can use the lock and prune and do some gardening and whatever else you'd want to use a Hawkbill for. Now again, it's not probably my favorite, and I probably won't be investing in more of these, but it told me what I wanted to know, you know. And if I ever need to use it for that purpose, I've got that knife for that purpose. And you know, it's the most useless. I will say this: that is the most useless nail nick in the history of nail nicks. You don't need it. Yeah, that's a pinch and grab, and there's no doubt about it. That's how I'd open that knife every single time. Okay, but up next, so, you know, basically it just told me what I wanted to know about the knife. And here's another Rite Edge 210-6635. Now this is another toothpick, but this one's a little larger. And again, I bought this just for, you know, a showpiece. It's just a piece to go on the shelf. It's just pretty to look at. I'm never going to use this for putting in my pocket. So again, but if you wanted to explore that idea, then, you know, you got this beautiful blade. If you don't like to carry it, it ends up, you know, being a part of your collection. That's just really cool. So, but this is more for me because I think this one doesn't really fit into this selection, because I bought this simply as another piece of my toothpick collection. It wasn't really designed to examine and explore, but you could do that if that is a large, you know, one of those models that you're looking at, you know, either of these two, to find out whether or not that's something that you know, either want to carry or, you know, keep in your desk or whatever it is. So there's that. I'm not going to speak too much on that because that really isn't the reason I bought it. And for the same reason, you know, they have 3 different varieties of these knives, and they're all really cool. This one's about the same size. But for the same reason, you know, I bought that as well. So got 3 toothpicks from Rite Edge. I mean, you can't go wrong if you're a tooth collector, because now you've got 3 additional knives in your collection that probably run you under, I don't know, maybe $19 for all 3 of them. I don't even know. It's not much. Okay, so the final knife that I wanted to talk about was this one. Now already we've looked at this knife, so let's pull this one back out. And that's the 4-inch folding knife, similar to Buck, you know. It's sort of a Buck ripoff in a slightly smaller frame size. But you get this sheath. Oh, let me tell you the box. Sorry about that. Should have told you the number right off the bat here. This is 210823, and it comes in this case, little leather, or it's not leather, vinyl sheath with the belt loop on the back. You know, not the greatest thing in the world. Probably a little floppy on your waist, but it does the job. And it fits in here nicely without a lot of moving around. It snaps real nice. Stays in there pretty secure. It's not like moving around or anything. But this is basically an exact, well, not an exact, well, it's a copy of the Buck 110. And this knife, a little rough out of the package. I had, in terms of the action. The only problem really, well, it was the springs were just a little dry. And once I gave the springs a little coat of oil, a little light oil, it's transformed this thing into a smooth operator. Just wonderful action on that blade. And just, this is top 3. This is top 3. Yeah, this knife, and this knife, to me, are just incredible values. These 3 kind of hit all the marks. I like the Sowbelly. I like the Barlow. I like the Stockman. And I like these for what they are, but, you know, I don't really consider those carries. But for every knife on here, there's not one that I just really dislike other than maybe the Hawkbill, just because I don't like Hawkbills. But it's not because there's anything wrong with the knife. I just don't find it to be a practical knife. I'm not like big on flouring and cutting. I'm just not a gardener. I don't have a green thumb. Let's put it that way. I'm horrible with plants. So that's just not something that's really up my alley. But, you know, these three knives, and then you get the sheath with this, and I think this one here is $12.99 shipped, or maybe even $10.99. I can't remember. It's in that range. You know, $11, $12, $13, somewhere in there, and you get the sheath. Now, you know, Imperial makes a buck copy that's really nice, but I don't think it comes with a sheath. You have to buy that separate. And, you know, and if you're buying a buck, that's $60 with the sheath, right? For a buck 110, the standard buck 110. You might be able to get one with the plastic handle cheaper than that. But $60 for a buck 110 when you can spend 12. Find out whether you like the pattern or not, and then invest into it if you do like it. Again, a little Howard's oil on the handle, like this one. But I think if you buy a Rite Edge, there's going to be a Rite Edge for you, right? And it's just a matter of kind of going through the different knives and deciding what it is you like. You know, maybe you like the smaller one, right? Maybe this is just a little too much and you don't want to carry the sheath, but this is, you know, you want this in your pocket. Or if that's too big, then maybe step down to this. You know, or if you want something like a Sodbuster, full-size Sodbuster, but you don't want to buy a case, something like this. You know, there's that Imperial one as well that I showed you. But this is even cheaper yet. And you get this really nice thick handle. So, I would just be shocked if a beginner wants to turn his nose up at these knives. I know these aren't the in game for a collector, and there's going to be better quality knives out there. But just learning and understanding what these knives can be, I just think they're a tremendous value in the same way that Rough Riders are, but spending even less on the knives. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to make sure that I went over these knives in a way that was fair and that describes them how I would introduce them to a new collector or a new knife carrier, and find out, you know, it just provides so much information when you can carry a knife and use it every day and determine how it works for you. So that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment about that frost. You know, is this something worthy of a giveaway, or shall I pick something else? You guys let me know. But thank you so much for coming by, taking time with me today, watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.